TRAXION, Life in Motion. In just 10 years, TRAXION has consolidated itself as a leader in logistics and mobility in Mexico and has integrated a solution portfolio unique within the sector, with a focus in disruptive development. TRAXION takes care of the entire supply chain, from end to end, by using the latest generation technologies, a robust commercial force, and an operation infrastructure of grand scale. The company has always been characterized by the technological evolution, the financial discipline, and diversification. This is a story about accelerated growth and profitable growth, with a solid creation commitment for long-term value and always exceeding expectations. TRAXION, Life in Motion. Hello, good morning everyone. Welcome to TRAXION Day 2022. I am Ana Paula Ordorica and I am delighted to be hosting today's event once again. TRAXION has greatly evolved in all fronts, but perhaps the most relevant one would be the technological transformation that the company has undergone in recent years. Today's topic is precisely technological innovation. In order to tell us about this, we've got amongst us Avi Lichstein, co-founder and executive president, Rodolfo Mercado, the CEO, Wolf Silverstein, financial director, and Antonio Tejedo, VP of Investors Relations, who will be telling us with a lot of detail how using different technologies has played a fundamental role in the growth, the operation, and the company's strategies. In the last 2 years, TRAXION has broken records in diverse metrics and has positioned itself as a leading company in their sector. All of this thanks to their business model design and the focus in technological development for asset-light businesses. There's no doubt that TRAXION's development has been truly outstanding. I want to leave you now with Avi, who will be telling you about the technological transformation undergone by TRAXION. Also, the different directors of the company are here and will be presenting different important aspects for TRAXION. In the end, we'll be waiting for your questions so that these directors will be the ones to answer that. Thank you, Ana Paula, and welcome to TRAXION Day 2022. The technological innovation in the logistics industry is a reality. This is a global trend where the player who arrives first with a competitive technological platform will have an advantage position in all fronts. This transformation is an evolution process necessary for satisfying the customer needs in an effective and profitable fashion. The technological platforms will be the winners and will have a very important participation within a fragmented market that's in honest growth. Technology reduces costs, increases effectiveness, and provides transparency, visibility, security, and precision, while minimizing the intensity of the necessary capital to grow. Therefore, the logistic processes can be optimized and will allow us to serve customers who are increasingly sophisticated in their requirements. One of the main pillars under which I founded TRAXION 10 years ago was technological innovation. So on this sense, for years now, we've migrated towards a model based on the latest generation technologies that not only have allowed us to be in an advantage position throughout the pandemic, but it's also allowed us to develop business lines that will push forward growth and have allowed us to leverage our great commercial muscle and operation infrastructure. Perhaps the most important aspect is that for us, technological transformation has been the foundation for the development of our asset-light businesses, and it is precisely innovation what's going to help us continue strengthening this business line. The technological platforms, mobile apps, and logistics services that allow us to make money with relatively little investment will grow and will become in very important aspects of our business. A year ago, we presented our Logistics and Technology segment, whose goal was to dedicate a segment exclusively for asset-light businesses. As you've seen, this segment has now gotten outstanding results, and we expect it will become in a bigger part of the business in a medium term. Especially within the first quarter of 2022, the income of our digital apps and technological platforms have grown by over 86%. This business is the one with the greatest expansion potential within the company. Through this focus, we've gained market participation, we've increased our service level, our effectiveness, and our profitability. At TRAXION, we serve the supply chain from end to end, and we create added value for all of our stakeholders. In just 10 years, TRAXION is among the largest mobility companies in Latin America. We are one of the most important 4PL logistic platforms in Mexico. We occupy the first places amongst 3PL service companies in the country. We've become in one of the solutions for the last mile suppliers that's most important within the market. We've created a digital platform that connects customers with carriers and optimizes their expenses through a unique marketplace within the industry. We apply the most updated technology for the traditional businesses to provide greater transparency, security, and tranquility to our customers. And this represents by far our most important competitive advantage, and it is a higher barrier for entering our sector. In the segment of people mobility, we are the biggest player. We operate with the latest technologies in order to guarantee security and effectiveness within the service, and we've also been a key participant for the development of this business in Mexico. Let me introduce Gustavo Redondo, the responsible party for our Logistic and Technology segment, so that he can show us how the Traxporta application works. So let's go to one of our operation centers. Thank you, Abby. Welcome to our Digital Operations Center in Traxporta. This time, I'm going to be showing you how our digital operation model works, an innovative model within the market, since we operate 100% in an asset-light model that allows us to be fast and flexible in the strategy that we have for expanding our business model. Therefore, TRAXION has evolved Traxporta, a digital company with the latest technology platform that is world-class, based on the transportation market needs. It is an avant-garde platform that places us at a competitive position within the market. Traxporta is an application created to put in contact customers to carriers. Customer poster loading needs, and it's automatized this process through a device by knowing the rates in real time through a tariffary system, offering complete transparency for everyone. On the other side, transporters and carriers have visibility of all posted cards and loads in order to select the best option in according to their capacities and availability. Our operation team will supervise and monitor the loads through a control tower by obtaining the estimated route, the exact recollection point, and the estimated delivery time, as well as the minute-to-minute follow-up of the load events, including temperature. Additionally, the control tower will generate the status in which we can see the load at all times, providing this way greater control and certainty, which is translated in an added value service for our customers. The moment of the delivery, we collect all evidences in accordance to the configuration of the customer, such as pictures of the load, the moment of delivery, corresponding signatures, amounts, and other relevant details about the process, provided transparency and visibility both to the customers and the carriers and transporters. The carrier has the capacity of sending evidence through the app in order to move the invoicing process ahead and starting the payment process, which promotes greater transparency and reliability to all parties. At the end, it's an optimal process from beginning to end, with satisfied customer, certified carriers, and a highly trained support team, an effective one. Aside from being the #1 platform in Mexico, Traxporta looks to standardize the transportation industry with that of countries such as the United States through technologies that will allow us to process the load processes in an agile and transparent fashion for all those involved. The business model of Traxporta is contemplating exponential growth. Traxporta is a scalable platform with low investment requirements in assets in order to satisfy our customer needs by using the available capacity of third parties. The focus in the service for our customers and our people are the key for the success of our digital model. That's right. And today, TRAXION is the undisputable leader in the supply chain. We are the only company in Mexico capable of providing the supply chain from end to end by using our own infrastructure. This allows us to offer our customer 100% visibility at all times, to be more competitive in price, more effective in our operation, and of course, much more profitable. Our strategy in this type of business is in continue gaining market quota in all different logistics services that integrate the supply chain, particularly those that work for the e-commerce channel, whose penetration has grown considerably in the past 2 years. It's very important to highlight this growth and penetration. According to the most recent study of the Mexican Association of Online Sales, e-commerce grew over 27% in 2021 after having grown over 81% in 2020. The penetration moved from 9% in 2020 to 11% in 2021, compared to a lower than 3% between 2016 and 2017. In 2022, the e-commerce channel totalized over 400 billion pesos, a considerably higher figure than the pre-COVID estimates. We hope that the e-commerce channel will continue growing and penetrating Mexico significantly. In this sense, we expect for marketplaces to continue with accelerated growth, that the omnichannel will gain greater relevance and importance, and that small and medium-sized companies will enter in a greater scale. On its side, fintech will be a fundamental piece, and cross-border activity will have greater thrust. Mainly, the cross-border e-commerce shows great growth potential and penetration in Mexico by being one of the countries with greater activity on this environment. According to some studies, around 65% of online shoppers in Mexico perform purchases from the United States, China, and Japan. This represents for companies such as TRAXION a massive development opportunity for logistics services that will use technology as a foundation for added value as brokerage, storage, and handling of packages at customs. At TRAXION, we've developed services and logistics solutions such as, for example, multi-carrier automatic sorties, fulfillment, inverse logistics, and the last logistics solutions for the middle and last mile, so that this has placed us as one of the best options for our foreign customers within the cross-border electronic commerce. All of this for TRAXION is translated for a greater demand of logistics services that are properly developed and competitive. Our company is very well positioned for capitalizing in all of these opportunities in an agile, effective fashion to continue taking advantage of our scale. Finally, we want to leverage the use of technology along with our commercial muscle and the great operation infrastructure of TRAXION in order to guarantee the service level our customers require and to be more competitive price-related wise. Once again, the technological innovation is our most important competitive advantage. Likewise, the disruptive development and innovation are key characteristics that have allowed us to have an advantage positions from where we can capitalize from opportunities. Next, I will show you some examples of our capacities within the supply chain. In our 3PL division, we provide storage services to leading global companies. Our competitive advantage of greatest importance, as well as a key differentiator, has always been the implementation of avant-garde technologies that guarantee the level of service that our customers demand. Thanks to this, we've become a key piece of the functioning of their supply chains, and the trustability and precision of our processes constitute a determining attribute in an service offer. Ever since the product arrived to our facilities, before that we use interfaces with customers in order to synchronize the transportation of this product to our storage facilities. We use the latest generation technology tools in order to guarantee the reliability of the product that is accessing our warehouses regarding quantity and quality. The use of devices and technological apps used within our operative processes has allowed us to completely eliminate human error and increase the quality of our deliverables at levels that will surpass the standards on the industry of logistics and storage services. The adoption of a quality focus in the end-to-end service has led us to surpass KPIs through the firm conviction of exceeding the expectations from our customers. This dynamic has allowed us to have a disruptive way of thinking in order to continue intervening in the way in which we execute processes and the commitment of continuous improvement. TRAXION entered the last-mile business when they acquired Red back in May 2018. For the past 4 years, we've transformed from being a package and message small company to be the solution of the last mile, particularly for e-commerce. Also, throughout this period, this division has increased its sales over 4 times and has multiplied by 3 their delivery capacities for the last mile. Today, they have the capacity for delivering over 15 million deliveries per year with a service level over 95%. We currently continue with a digital transformation process that allows us to offer technological solutions that are innovative to agilize the delivery process in a world where customers are more and more sophisticated, demanding, that need immediate answer as well as real-time information. We've undertaken a re-engineering process to our highest impact processes for the customer. We currently have our own infrastructure that allows us to improve delivery time, offer more competitive prices, and continue having high levels of effectiveness and efficiency. Our solution portfolio for the last mile in TRAXION has evolved. Today, we focus on e-commerce, international sense, B2B, B2C, retail, cross-border, consolidated load, and very recently we just added in the pharmaceutical vertical with the business of distribution of medicine as well as medical accessories. Our last mile division is an agile operation that continuously evolves and adapts to our customer needs. Through this technological evolution, we've reinforced the commitment of supporting the national economy while positioning within the biggest companies of this segment in Mexico, and no doubt as the best alternative for the last mile solutions. Load mobility is a basic activity for the country's economy. This is a mature, extremely fragmented business dominated by family companies. However, it still represents great opportunities for expansion and improvement. Within this segment, our strategies continue migrating operation capacity towards services with higher levels of specialization that have a higher level of profitability, such as cool loads, as well as petrochemical transportation, fuel, and other materials that need high technical levels for their operation. On the other side, we'll continue expanding our regular load services through Traxporta, our digital platform. This will provide us greater exposure to the asset-light model of TRAXION while providing greater operation capacities in order to increase and grow our specialized services of mobility of loads. We want to take advantage of our vast database of customers while offering more services, more capabilities, and generating more synergies with this application. As a result, we expect to optimize the use of our fleet, meaning generating greater value, increasing the input per kilometer while improving the cost. In other words, we intend to take more mileage of our current fleet, selling them at a higher price and operating them cheaper, as we've done for the past 4 years. Let us remember that ever since the end of 2018, after we integrated the acquisition of Bisonte and the assets of Roncalli, our total load fleet has grown by less than 7%, while the number of mileage has increased by over 16%. This means that we've progressively become more effective without needing to increase our fleet numbers. I also believe it's important to mention that since the end of 2018, we've built a very strong position in the cooling load services, particularly at the Bahia region. Today, we operate with around 300 cool boxes through Agoba, and we intend to increase such capacity by 20% throughout 2022. Today, we have great prestige in the service, and our plan is to continue increasing these capacities by gaining leadership and market quota, as we've done in other services. Likewise, within this segment, technology is a very important entry barrier that represents our most relevant competitive advantage. With the use of different technologies, we can guarantee a high level of service while providing greater security, tranquility, and transparency to all of our customers. We've developed a technological platform that is very advanced and allows us to be one step ahead of our customer needs, and very far ahead from all of our competitors. In the load mobility segment, we have a lot of competitive advantages, one of which will be the diversity of our services. Ever since we were founded in 2011, we've integrated the most complete portfolio for load services, all of this done through successful acquisition of leading companies in each of their niches. Today, we have leading positions in several different services, such as cross-border, particularly within the Nuevo Laredo market, intermodal load in ports, railroads, and we operate different specialized load services that position us as one of the best options for our customers. Thus, we have highly specialized teams such as, for example, self-load tanks, auto tanks, cool boxes, and other types of trucks with which we are capable of taking care of a much more specialized market with much higher margins of growth. Additionally, we're operating with one of the biggest fleets, most diverse and modern fleets in Mexico. We have alliances with over 30 operators of America to guarantee cross-border services, which constitutes a fundamental part for the supply chains between Mexico and the United States. Now, regarding technology, we're using the latest generation system, which allowed us to optimize resources, as well as providing transparency and tranquility to our customers. We've got advanced accident prevention systems. We have conducted exhaustive tests for artificial intelligence some circuits that will allow us to change processes and improve routes, fuel consumption, and operators' performance. On the other side, we've implemented digitalization processes for deliveries and having better documentation of the evidences and special alarm systems for cool loads. All of the above positions our segments in our load mobility as one of the most competitive ones within the industry, whose service levels surpass and exceed the expectation from our customers. For us, it's a matter of great pride that our services, operational scale, and geographical footprint can contribute to move the economy and commerce in Mexico. TRAXION is a leader in people mobility market, mainly from and to industrial parks. Having been pioneers with over 24 years' experience, we are a very important player for the evolution of this service in Mexico. For years now, the expansion of industrial parks has developed at several miles from urban centers, while the infrastructure of public transportation has not evolved at the same rhythm. Thus, we've contributed to the development of the manufacturing centers in Mexico and for industry that have come to open their operations in the country by providing them with mobility services that is world-class. We've developed a very robust infrastructure for people mobility services with execution capacities 24/7 that are unique within the market, taking care of customers of all sizes and different needs, with one of the most extensive geographical footprints within the sector. Not only do we transport people, but we supply a holistic mobility solution for great players of diverse industries. We've supported, importantly, the industrial development of Mexico via our scale, experience, and superior execution capacities. Our fleet is the largest and most modern in Mexico, which places us in an advantageous position, especially with customers who need higher standard services and grand-scale operations that are very difficult to complete and take care of by the smaller competitors. Also, this is about a business that has very attractive growth opportunities, mainly within the industrial regions that are in expansion within our countries and that present different mobility problematics. In TRAXION, we provide alternatives that are effective with high added value solution both for the companies and for the users. One of our main key differentiators is the technology we've acquired and developed through time, which can generate financial and operative intelligence by providing transparency and reliability to our customers, and amongst many other advantages, it allows users to be on time, less tired, increasing therefore the productivity and effectiveness of them, which at the same time will be a benefit translated to our customers. We believe our technological infrastructure, as well as the constant focus in innovation, is going to be difficult to replicate, which allows us to stay one step ahead within the market. In this segment, we're working with world-class customers. We provide our services through agreements and long-term relations whose incomes are predictable and therefore have a cost and expense structure that have been previously estimated, which represents for us another great advantage, since we know the metrics and profitability of each of our customers at all times. Likewise, our experience with this type of structure of agreements can allow us to have the response to all requirements of our customers with greater agility and transparency, something that has translated to very solid commercial relations and long-term relations. Now let me introduce Elias Dana, the General Director of our People Mobility Division, so that he can tell us about the capacities and scale of this segment. Thank you very much, Wolf. Welcome to the Operations Center for People Mobility. From here, we administrate and manage the operation of over 6,500 units that every day perform over 40,000 trips. They go over 1 million kilometers and they mobilize 1.2 million users who use our services to move from and to their place of work or schools. Within the People Mobility Division of TRAXION are over 8,000 collaborators placed in 25 different cities around the country, use our technology to guarantee our over 500 customers the highest level of quality within the service, punctuality, security, effectiveness, and profitability through a scalable operation model based on processes and technologies of the latest generation. This operation model has no doubt been a key piece to sustain a double-digit growth for the past 5 years. Just like in the rest of TRAXION segments, within the People Mobility segment, technology is one of our most important competitive advantage. We have developed a unique platform for monitoring and control that, through satellite tracking, allows us to know in real time the status of our operation and controlling precisely each of our units, operators, and mileage, with automatized flows of nominal dispensing and invoicing, which provides transparency to our customers and ensures a high level of service. Our telemetry platform is a relevant piece within this model, for through this, we can measure different security indicators such as driving methods and hours driving. We also integrate different tools for supporting our customers, such as anti-collision tools and other security instruments, and with this, we can generate information with which we design predictive programs in real time to improve the developed performance both for the operator as for the unit, as well as developing constant training plans by using distance learning tools. On the other side, it allows us to know the status of the unit at all times, just like any other type of failure code or disperfect, with which we can generate predictive and preventive maintenance plans and decreasing significantly mechanical failures and accelerating reaction times, which will optimize our maintenance cost and elongate the useful life or shelf life of our units. TRAXION is a great logistic ally that supplies high added value solution. We use software with route design that allows us to perform this tracking and tracing in an effective fashion, so providing a better service, having a better adaptation to our customer needs, monitoring our circuits, and as a result, improving constantly the profitability of each of our different agreements. We have been pioneers in the use of logistic optimizers that use advanced algorithms and constantly present different scenarios for improving their operations. Perhaps one of our most important strengths is the connectivity to our users. Through the Lipu Go, our mobile app, each of them has access to information in real time, such as the route status, number of stops, notifications and alarm, as well as the ETA. Likewise, we have developed technological tools that are specific for different types of services, such as our Intelligent Control app for managing different affairs that will allow us to provide a better service as well as increasing the effectiveness of our customers. Every minute we're gathering millions of data, which are safeguarded in our data center. With the help of robotized services and the use of IA, we have generated dashboards for better decision making, and therefore continue improving the quality, effectiveness, and security of our service. Therefore, we have accomplished to build People Mobility Company that's the largest and most modern one in Mexico. Our operation doesn't stop here. We are performing a trip at any time of the day by mobilizing millions of people who at the same time move Mexican industry. Historically speaking, TRAXION has delivered financial results and operative results that are outstanding. Specifically, between 2019 and 2021, TRAXION grew its income by over 40%, while the EBITDA increased in over 33%. Also, the net utility increased by over 92%, and the net operative flow grew 8%, something especially relevant given the complexity that we have undergone in recent years. 2020 and 2021 were very challenging years as a result of the sanitary situation, but they were also record years for TRAXION in several metrics, both financial as operation and commercial. These excellent results were obtained thanks to two factors mainly. The first one is the design of our business model founded in three main pillars: diversification, financial discipline, and technological innovation, which has allowed us to make face to the dynamic environment of demand as well as to operation changes. And secondly, the positioning of our asset-light businesses, especially those that serve the e-commerce channel, being able to capitalize on growth opportunity and penetration opportunities the channel underwent during the sanitary emergency, as well as continue to develop our digital platform that have allowed us to increase at the same time our participation in other logistics services. In February, when we made known our Result Guide 2022, we did it in the midst of a very complicated landscape globally, altered by the conflict at the East Europe that is facing the situation right now. Today, the volatility that has resulted from such conflict prevails, and the disruptions in our supply chains remain even more pronounced. However, in Mexico, we continue to observe strong demand levels in our three business segments, and we are very well positioned in order to capture these opportunities through our commercial muscle, our people, and the great operation infrastructure we possess. The CAPEX plan will move in accordance to what has been established, and we hope that the delays in new unit deliveries will continue throughout the rest of the year. However, from 2021, we anticipated and planned according to our needs. So, something that today has transformed in great competitive advantage that we hope will allow us to cover the demand of our customers and of the market in a much more effective way. As many of you know, for TRAXION, sustainability is key. Since we're leaders within our sector, we also have the commitment of being leaders in environmental, social, and governance topics. For this, I want to introduce Daniel Guasorteo, our Sustainability Director and the responsible one for re-strengthening our strategies. Daniel will give us a little bit more color of what we can expect in the future in ESG topics. Our sustainability strategy is based in four axes: governance, people, planet, and growth. We've built a very solid strategy focused in continuous improvement and leading the sector. We've reported under the global most important standards such as SASB, TCFD, and GRI. We are part of the Global Pact of the UN, and we respond to the questions of CDP and CSA. In 2021, TRAXION was included in the Sustainability Millennium Pacific Alliance Index from the Index Dow Jones family. We operate in a cooperative robust government with 67% of independent councils, to which we incorporated the first woman at the beginning of 2022. As part of our risk management, we've identified the climate change risks. We attract and develop the best talent, and we promote diversity and inclusion. 30% of our positions in high and middle management are occupied by women. Since 2021, we have been strengthening our training programs at all levels of the operation. We offer transportation and logistics solutions that are effective in the use of resources. We increase the performance of fuel and we ensure the best development for the engines. Several of our companies are awarded with the distinctive of Excellent Environmental Performance of Semarnat, saving year with year over 20% in carbon emissions. We're also strengthening our environmental management programs based in the ISO 14001 norm, including different circular economy and residue management model. As you can see, sustainability is a fundamental part of our business model. We have a very robust strategy for the past 5 years, and we continue being the spearhead and a reference point within the market. As I've been telling you, for a couple of quarters now, TRAXION is retaking the inorganic growth activity we had. Through this strategy, we'll be trying now to enter businesses that will add value to our asset-light approach and will allow us to strengthen our platforms, our service offer, and our technological infrastructure. We can now analyze several initiatives and diverse negotiation processes, so we hope very soon to be sharing great news with you. As we've told you, in March, we announced the signature of an agreement for acquiring Medistic, a leading 4PL service company that supplies logistics solutions for the distribution of medicine and medical accessories through an asset-light approach. With this acquisition, TRAXION can incorporate the pharmaceutical vertical to their logistics services of 4PL nature and the last-mile services, additional to the e-commerce and consumption ones. This acquisition represents an unmeasurable and incomparable value proposal because of their high service level, modern infrastructure, cost optimization model, total visibility of the product, and exhaustive quality processes. The main synergies we expect to perform are, in the commercial part, we see great potential for multiplying the sales of this business line at a short term. Likewise, there are several different synergies, both operational and financial, that will contribute for improving the profitability of the transaction. This business line will generate margins that surpass 35%. The agreed price for this company was of 1.537 billion pesos and will be paid with our own resources and the debt prevailing from available lines. The operation is still subject to regulatory approval, which we expect to obtain soon. Thank you very much, everyone, for your attention. Thank you very much, Javi, and all of TRAXION's team for this really complete explanation of what has been done and what is coming in the future for TRAXION. We're now open for your questions so that the directors can answer them. Let's start with the first question. This can be written in English or in Spanish. We will have the translation available.
How do you benefit from the nearshoring trend?
The key elements for nearshoring to be successful are logistics and mobility. This is precisely our business. TRAXION has a leadership position in cross-border, extensive exposure to key industries, together with the strongest commercial force and superior execution capabilities that will help clients grow. So in summary, the more nearshoring in Mexico, the better for TRAXION.
Abby, when you came to the stock, you said you wanted to enter e-commerce, and you did it. Afterwards, you said that you liked the pharmaceutical division. You're entering now with a very solid position. What can you tell us today? What do you like? Thank you, Ana Paula. I really like the Traxporta business. I believe that it has a really massive potential for growth, and I also see a great business opportunity in the cross-border business. And how does this competitive landscape look for Transporta? Well, I see that Traxporta has a lot of competitive advantages. Firstly, the technology we've got. Secondly, our commercial force that we already have in the industry. Thirdly, our operation capability. Fourthly, the balance solidity. And all of this has allowed Traxporta, that after just 1.5 years of being created, I estimate it's already 10 times the size of our closest competitor. And in this business, scale is important. And what is your valuation expectation for Traxporta precisely? Well, that's a tough question. But what I can say here is that I've seen some similar companies that are evaluated between 5 to 10 times their sales in other parts of the world. We are expecting Traxporta in the short term to be selling over $200 million. So, with this, I ask you to do the math. How important is a cross-border business, and how important can it be? Hello, how are you everyone? Good afternoon. The cross-border business is something that we've been preparing in the infrastructure for the business. We've been growing it for many years now. We calculate that right now, the cross-border direct sales from our company are at around 25% and indirect sales at around 50%. Therefore, it is a very important position for our company, and it's a service that we've been preparing and working hard on in order to take care of this in the market.
How do you expect to maintain quality of service as you use third-party drivers?
First and foremost, we always certify the third parties in order to upload them in our platforms. So that's the way we guarantee that the level of service is maintained.
What is the next vertical that you think has great future? No doubt, technology businesses, particularly apps, is where we see a very promising business future. What limitants have we had today? Meaning, why can't you grow today at a greater rhythm, taking into consideration the positive trends such as the one that you've already told us about, like the nearshoring? We don't really have a direct limitant with the growth that we're seeing at the logistic part, the part of hiring a third party for the services. We're really exploring these services. So we believe that us as TRAXION, with the technology, with the development that we've undertaken on this platform, we have all of the capacity in order to be able to fill the needs of our customers, especially in the cross-border aspect. What is the ESG strategy for TRAXION as a company? Thank you. The future of the ESG strategy for the company lies in maintaining and strengthening our current strategy. Environmentally, we'll have better KPIs that are much more specific. We'll continue with our emission reduction initiative. Socially, we'll continue promoting diverse initiatives through our TRAXION Foundation and through different social programs. And regarding governance, we will try and improve our inclusion and diversity programs, adding this to what we already have available today. And how will you minimize the threats that mean having business with the public sector where you've just recently entered, particularly talking about the health sector? We see this business and this customer just like any other customer, any other business we have in the organization. We do this by offering good service, having the best infrastructure, and training as best as possible everyone who works in the organization. So we don't really see anything different from what we've been doing for many, many years in TRAXION.
What is the size of the growth opportunity in Medistic? How much or how many times can you grow Medistic sales in the next years?
Yeah, hi. We bought Medistic and we haven't still made the full operation, the full transaction. We expect this to be around the beginning of third quarter of this year. This company was expected to sell this year around $30 million, and we easily think we can double this exposure in a full year by the end of one full year. So we think at least $60 million will be the next growth we expecting in Medistic and in the full pharma business.
When you mentioned that you will continue growing inorganically, in that regards, which segment and how can you finance the acquisition?
So we're gonna be focusing mainly in the asset light division. So we're targeting to buy companies that will help us to grow Traxporta, or also to reinforce our cross-border business. And we have a strong balance sheet, and we're planning to finance and to have the company on a net debt to EBITDA below 2.5 times.
¿Cómo imaginan la compañía
How do you
en 5
imagine the
años en
company in
términos de
5 years
resultados
regarding
financieros,
financial
en términos de
results, segment
segmentos,
terms,
exposición
geographical
geográfica, etcétera? ¿Qué
footprint,
negocios creen que
etc.?
tiene
What business
mayor
do you think has a
potencial de
greater
crecimiento?
growth potential?
Bueno, sin duda veo.
Well, there's no doubt, in my opinion, that the asset-light business in TRAXION will become the biggest part of it. We see a double-digit sustained growth, and no doubt, this is something we think is very interesting, for we'll be able to increase the profitability of the company in a sustainable fashion with an aggressive growth. Now, regarding fuel cost, how do you see them at the CP? How does it hit you in your profitability now that the first quarter of 2022 is over? You mentioned this as one of the pressure elements for the margin. Fuel is a key cost for us. It's one of our most important operation costs. And we have lived since the end of the first quarter a very important volatility in fuel prices and oil prices that prevails up to date. Now, having stated that and trying to do this pass-through, meaning passing through this cost to our customers, this is an activity that we have implemented since forever. It's an activity that's done continuously in TRAXION since we were created, this pass-through. The thing here is that this volatility prevails, and we expect standardization by perhaps next year. Thank you, Antonio. What are now the projections for Medistic? What percentage of your own resources? And that percentage, how will you do this? Thank you very much. To finance the operation, like Abby stated a few minutes ago, for Medistic operation, we'll be using both our own resources as well as different credit lines we have available. It's going to be a mix between both parties. And obviously, with this, we'll be able to integrate, as Rodolfo said in the third quarter, to the figures of our company. Thank you very much, Wolf. Now, in what horizon do you see asset light is going to be taken to Traxporte to other countries of Latam or the rest of the world? Well, no doubt we think that the logistics and the technology business from TRAXION will be able to get to other countries with greater ease. Therefore, we expect in the near future to be present in other countries with different parts of this division. And aligned with the more sustainable industries, is there any proposal to start having an electric fleet without affecting your levels of profitability? Hello, how are you? Good. Yeah, we are currently performing some tests. We are already undertaking some analysis of this fleet. Of course, we believe and we want to have our input in this solution. However, in Mexico, there is still no development, no completely sustainable development to work on this, but we do want to spearhead this effort and be one of the first companies that can have this technology within the country. And what do you think about the margins in the logistic and technology margins in the future? Well, the way in which we see this margin, and it's something that we've discussed in the past, is around 10 to 15%. Are the margins that we picture for this division. And as we start consolidating these businesses and consolidating, let's say, the different branches or niches we participate in such division, we will try to increase such margins. Today, we are measuring them at around a 10 to 15% range. What would be the identified risk by TRAXION for the expectation of high inflation and the expectations of lower economic growth in Mexico for this and next year? And how is the company getting ready for this? Well, as we've mentioned from the beginning in this Q&A session, is that there's a clear trend for nearshoring. Mexico has a capacity of installing manufacturing that it's really important and difficult to replicate in Latin America. We're south, one of the most important economies in the world. Geographically, the country is really well positioned. We have access to two oceans. We are competitive in a long list of industries, such as automotive, aerospace, medical devices, manufacturing, etc. And all of this makes Mexico to continue to remain an attractive country. And also we have the internal consumption, which is huge and is another very important engine that moves our business. Thank you, Antonio. Now, what do you think about the valuation of logistic-focused startups like Nuevo Cargo, Nowport, etc.? Do you think a disruption is on the way? These are very interesting valuation. No doubt, I believe a disruption is heading our way, and TRAXION is really well positioned right now through Traxporta in order to also have access to these business models. Thank you, Abe. Now, the cross-border model, have you considered it in the first mile custom clearance last mile flow in a B2C, B2B model for the pharma vertical? Well, we're only just getting started with our pharma business. Of course, we are valuing all alternatives that this product and this type of services really entail. We will have a great synergy of product from the cross-border as well as Medistics, acquisition, and what we're developing. So we do see being able to integrate all of these levels of services that the industry needs from our country.
Investment needs. What are your investment needs in the medium term versus capital structure today? Do you need to do an equity offering?
Okay, so actually the company is leveraged at around 1.6 times net debt to EBITDA. So we still have capacity to grow and to do some acquisitions. So we don't see a follow-on in the near future.
Thank you, Abby. Logistics and Technology Division grew revenue and EBITDA 40% and 60% last year. What is a level of growth rate you are expecting in the next years?
So for this division, as we already mentioned, we expect to grow more than the other divisions because, again, we don't have to invest in heavy assets. So it will be much more easier for us with our technology and our people to grow more. So we expect to continue with a double-digit growth for the next future also.
Thank you, Wolf. How do you accomplish stakeholders to adhere to the use of technology developed by TRAXION? I think that today it's very simple to have adherence to the technology that's developed in a series of industries and businesses. Currently, if we looked at the users' different dynamics and knowledges that we have, we see that online users have increased in these statistics. You know, we have people 50, 60 years old or around these years are usually online users, and they do purchase us via their mobile phone. Therefore, we believe that adherence of these services and the technology is the foundation on the rationale of TRAXION, and the use of our technologies is linked to this. And how much has the competition grown in comparison to you from the beginning of the pandemic? Look, we are in an industry that is growing on a yearly basis, which is something beneficial for all players. However, I do believe that TRAXION is positioned with some very high competitive advantage that have allowed us to grow above the margin of the industry. Thank you, Abby. If fuel cost remains as high for this year and next year, how do you think customers will react? Thank you. As we have already mentioned, fuel is one of the most important operation costs for us. I mean, we evidently have always translated these elements to our agreements with different customers. This is a process. It takes time. It's not about if it's going to happen, it's about when it's going to happen. We hope that the last 2 quarters of the years will be key in order to accomplish this pass-through. How can you have technology and apps that are amazing be used in all companies within the group? We believe, and we don't really have to look very far, because this type of apps and this type of services and this type of technology, our collaborators use them, and they use them really at all times. Not only our collaborators, but also our customers have had a lot of benefits from being able to use these apps. So it's an automatic thrust and drive that they have the moment they use and develop this technology. Thank you. Thank you very much, and thank you so much for sending all of these questions. We have another one here.
Regarding Traxporta, are you exclusively focused on the B2C or B2B? And do you use 100% third-party couriers, or do you also leverage your own fleet?
Our strategy is mainly to go B2B, because that's the strengths that TRAXION has in Mexico, with more than 1,000 clients.
What are the investment needs in the medium term versus capital structure today? Do you need to do an equity offering?
I think we already answered this one, but again, as Avi just mentioned before, with our investments needs, we still are below 2 times net debt to EBITDA, so we can right now fund or raise. We don't have to raise, so we can fund our own plans. So right now we're not thinking or focusing in a follow-on.
Thank you. Well, on the new CapEx, what is the incremental ROIC you are expecting for those investments?
As part of our business plans, all of our projects compete between them. So our minimum that we are expecting is a 14% in terms of ROIC and 20% in IRR.
For new investors, can you remind us what is the lag between the fuel increases and the pass-through to clients in the following months?
Let's bear in mind that the pass-through process is an ongoing concern of the company since inception. In fact, this is a standard practice in the whole industry since 60 years ago. The pass-through period depends on how steep the price increase is. If you remember, when we had this fuel price increase at the beginning of 2018, it took us almost 4 months to implement a 100% pass-through to clients. In this case, there was an increase in prices, but volatility in oil prices, in global oil prices, not only in fuel prices, prevails. So it's a process that is going to take longer. Perhaps we started doing that at the beginning of the second quarter. We're going to start seeing the results in the third and fourth quarter.
What are
the synergies that will start applying in Medistik regarding processes, resources, and technologies? Well, there's no doubt that we see that the most noticeable synergy is going to be commercial. And additionally to this commercial part, we will have a greater infrastructure in order to increase the services offered to our customers. We have some very robust systems that will also contribute to the operation of Medistik, and we will also strengthen the financial development, the balance of Medistik, in order for it to have a very aggressive growth at a short term.
How will the transfer of cargo of Traxporta work? What happens to the contracts you already have?
Traxporta, as Avi said, we expect Traxporta to represent or to sell at least $200 million in the short term. In our projections, that would be around 10%, around 5% of total revenues in the short term.
Well, thank you so much for all of the questions that you've sent, and let us now then listen to a few words from the TRAXION Executive President, Avi Lichtstein. Thank you very much, everyone, for having joined us today. As you've seen, technological transformation has been a fundamental part for TRAXION's evolution, and it is a key piece for the growth and expansion of our company. New technologies are the foundation for our disruptive development moving forward. 2 years ago, we migrated to an asset-light model that has had high levels of commercial acceptance and has provided us with some outstanding results. This model represents today around 28% of our consolidated income, and we hope it continues to take relevance of our operations and will become a majority part of the business in the medium term. In recent years, we've undergone paradigm changes in consumption patterns that are here to stay, and that have redefined supply chains. Thanks to our planning, technology, and commercial muscle, we were able to take advantage of these changes and capitalizing from these opportunities, something that today has led us to occupy a leading position within the supply chain. We really like businesses related to digital applications such as Traxporta, and also all of those related with a cross-border model, where we have a solid leading position and we see a lot of expansion potential for the future. Today, TRAXION is a point of reference for the industrial logistic market in Mexico and mobility. We will continue leveraging from these opportunities and maintaining our commitment in creation of value. TRAXION has 10 years of innovating and 5 years of growing along with the market. Without any left but to thank every single stakeholder for their trust, and TRAXION teams who I'm privileged enough to lead, because without their effort, none of this would be possible. It is an honor having all of you on board. See you soon.